Awkward Wave and hello. Today I want to go over setting up supports for my Moai 130 and let you see the tips and tricks I go through to make what I make. It seems that, according to the forum, that I've been able to make successful prints where others have not, and I want to share some of the steps that I go through to do exactly that. And now I'm going to go to Chitubox. I want to show an alternative with Chitubox to help you out. Okay, so there is my piece right there, looking great, bright as rain. Chitubox has a slide scale right here on the side, which allows me to take a slice and see the inside of the piece. This helps especially with large, complicated items, because I can take a slice of the entire thing and view just that area to inspect. This is especially useful when I'm going to dig a hole. So once I click Add Hole, it's going to give me a green little spike that's showing me where it's going to go. Choose right there. That looks good. These are the air holes where air is going to go into to allow the resin to drain, but they're going to start off as anti-suction holes. So that way when the peel force from the resin vat as it lifts from the build plate to generate the resin for the new layer allows the resin to flow on the inside without delaminating the FEP or PDMS layer. So having two holes on the bottom, and of course the bottom is illustrated by that large triangle. Did I say triangle? That large rectangle. Know your geometry, sir. So this is going to be the first area that gets built. This is where it's going to need the weep holes. All right. So with that done, let's go to the top. Using the opposite mechanic, so I can see where the best place to put the drain hole. The drain hole is going to be the hole that allows resin to flow out of once it rests at the complete position or the raised position. When it's done printing, it goes to the top and resin drips off of this. And if I add the hole to the right place here, it will be able to drain out and leave less resin on the inside. And this also helps for when you clean it, it's going to get alcohol on the inside. This will help drain it as well. So when you set up your model, there's an error. So when you set up your model, make certain, this is a big deal, make certain that when you set up your model, you have at least two holes, minimum. One as a drain, one as a weep. Okay. There it is. There's the hole at the top. That's the drain hole. And we know that this is all good, right? There's our sliced view all the way to the top. Okay. Next phase. Save as. That is my completed hollow with holes. We're ready to go on to the next step. Now, the next step can actually be done with any of these programs. B9 Creator is a great program to add supports. Asura is another great program to add supports. And so is Chitubox. We're already in Chitubox, so we're going to go ahead and do this here. Here's our support list. And the first support I'm going to add is always going to be heavy. Heavy supports for the first contact point on your model. And in Chitubox, here we go, it's the red area. That's the area that is going to mandate supports. This black ring showing us where the parallel levels to the build plate are as they rise. So I know that this area, right where that disappears, is going to be the area that needs a a support. Also, you'll notice the little gray dot right there. Chitubox has already told me that if I go for automatic support generation, that is where it's going to put it. And we're going to need to make this for platform. There we go. This is the automatic support generation from Chitubox. I don't like all of that, but it gave me the first one. Actually, I like those position on those two. But I don't want them to be so large. We're going to go to medium now. We're going to pop one about here. Let's add support. Pop one about here. And we can tell that it's on the same plane because of that black ring. Pop one there. Now, as you'll see, that gives us a sail, a perpendicular sail that rises out of the build plate or rises down from the build plate, however you want to look at it. And it's got one thick chunk and two smaller ones. These smaller ones will keep it from swaying in this direction. Well, what about this direction? That is why I did not keep the support generation that it started with. We need to get a few more supports on here. It recommended at minimum 4 by the automatic support generation and those gray pegs. That is a great place to start. In fact, I think it needs 2 more out here just for suction resistance, because as it builds more and gets closer to that outside edge, about here is where it's going to have the highest pull force from the entire model, because it's the largest area. So having these extra 2 pieces on there is going to help resist the pull and keep the model on the build plate. Now for left and right deviation, I'm actually going to have to go a little bit higher. See that gradation of the red on there? I think I'm going to go from the middle, from where the red is and where the red stops. That's good enough. And I'll make it asymmetrical. There we go. It's actually not too bad. I could add more. I could give this more attention, but that covers the basics. I am a little bit worried as this rises higher. There is potential that putting a support there is going to be helpful. And this part comes down to experience. How many supports, how far apart they are, and how far they rise on the model. It has its ups and downs. At a first glance, one of the biggest problems of putting too many supports on here is how they remove from the model and cause errors. Well, I already have 2 weep holes here on the bottom, so putting a few extra supports in there is not going to hurt everything, or hurt anything. And that is why I have 1 support here, or not 1 support, that's why I have 1 piece here. That's a drain hole at the very top and a very easy to clean spot that also is a very minimal worked area. So the question is yours. And let's just say we're going to put one way up here, way up there. The only problem with that is that all of this area does not benefit from that at all. So from here, if you print and from here up, you get less Z-banding, but from here down, you get a lot of Z-banding. Well, 1, it's your resin probably is gelling and not printing solid enough. 2, you probably do not have enough supports. So since that is an irrelevancy, I am just going to delete them. If you want to add them, keep them close to home. That is really too many supports. It really is. But that should keep it smooth while printing all the way up. Feasibly, if I made that one support at the very bottom large enough, I wouldn't need any more supports. Well, we're going to keep this. We're going to pretend it's perfect. Save as will allow us to export the STL. And since this is one with supports, and Chitubox. Save. I can go ahead and close this.